Okay, let me snuggle in. So welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a chit chat kind of thing. How to plan a wedding on a budget. And I've been basically harassed into this video because I've said millions of times that I'm going to do it. And people keep reminding me to do it. And I know that I say like every time, sorry my feet are hot, I gotta take my socks off. Do you ever get hot for no reason? Because I do. So I've decided to do it finally after all of these years. Before I get into that, I want to first off say I do have a tutorial on my hair. All of the information you need about what I have on right now in the description box. Be sure to check that out, as well as all the tips I'm going to mention and markers for each part. So let's go ahead and get into this because I have a lot to say. If you're wanting to plan a wedding, congratulations on being engaged. I'm so happy for you. It's probably going to be the most exciting and frustrating time of your life, so just be ready for the roller coaster because it's going to happen. If you're not already stressed out from being so anxious and excited, then get ready, strap on, put your seatbelt because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Nevertheless, it's all worth it in the end, so congratulations. I have my notes here, so excuse me if I'm looking down, but for an average wedding, $25,000 is the budget. And I was actually able to keep it under 15. Originally my budget was 10, but it ended up being somewhere between 10 and 15. And that's not me bragging, that's just like a total. Like if you're gonna have a wedding ceremony and a reception with a dress and a bridal party, and you're gonna have a bridal shower and all of this stuff, you definitely want to set aside at least $10,000. You can do it for under that if you use a lot of in-house people, like if you use family members for catering, or people give you stuff. But the thing about people giving you stuff is if you can't rely on them to do it properly, or if they move slow, or you don't want to use people like that. So I know some people have great cooks in their family that can do it for free or whatever, but I didn't. So it was really important to me to have all of those things taken care of. That's why I had to pay for it. Usually a dress will run you from $1,000 to $4,000 for a wedding dress. Photographers run anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. You can find things that are a lot cheaper, but you have to do a lot of digging and a lot of searching. So don't feel like discouraged or something because you can't afford something, because weddings are very expensive. What you want to do is you want to determine how big your wedding is going to be, and kind of just think about what is most important to you as far as how you want your wedding to be. When I first started getting ready to plan my wedding, I didn't even want one. So it was really important for me to come up with the things that I really wanted to do and the things that were important to me versus the things that I've just heard people say that I really wasn't too crazy about. You want to set a budget and stick to your budget throughout this whole process. Okay, and you want to make sure that you have enough time to do everything that you need to do. One thing my mom always told me is do not worry about what other people have done, and do not worry about what people want you to do. Determine your budget and what you can do, and that will determine pretty much everything else that comes after that. And if you don't have the money, don't have a huge wedding. Do not invite all of your family and friends if you can't afford for all of your family and friends to be there. Try to keep it as tailored to who needs to be there as possible, if that makes sense. Ceremonies can be small and intimate, but also still really beautiful. Mine was really small. I only had 100 people. So, you can make it small and still look really, really nice. I didn't have a lot of people. I didn't have a lot of decorations. I didn't have a lot of dancing or partying at my wedding because those are the things that were not important to me, and those were the things that did not fit into my budget. So sometimes you have to cut things out accordingly. The things that are least important to you, get them cut out and they will save you some money. It may not have been what everybody expected, but at the end of the day, it's your wedding, so whatever makes you happy makes you happy. Pick a date, and quick. You want to pick your date as soon as possible. The date will determine a lot of factors such as the price, the venue, and maybe even your honeymoon or your theme. You might be having your wedding and your honeymoon all in one place. You may be having a destination wedding. So you want to kind of set the date to know exactly what date works best for what type of wedding you want to have. I had my wedding in February specifically for reasons of saving money. April to, I want to say like September, is the busiest season for weddings. Off-season weddings are cheaper. And also weddings that you have during the weekdays are cheaper than weddings you have on Saturday. I had my wedding on a Friday night, and in February, because those were the days that were going to be less busy, it was easier to get the night reserved. A lot of the things that I bought for my wedding were on sale. They weren't really sought after at that time. And also because my honeymoon was not during the busiest season, which would be the summer or the spring break time. Didn't pay for the honeymoon myself. It was a gift to me from my husband's parents. So I wasn't worried about that, but just keep those things in mind. If you're going to have like a really big extravagant dress, remember that those take a certain amount of time to be shipped to you. So you want to keep that in mind, which is why I said to start planning those things pretty early on. I would say to get one off the rack. It's easier, less time consuming, you don't have to wait. Buying a dress off the rack or on sale, sometimes you can find the most beautiful dresses that you wouldn't have thought that would look good on you. So try stuff on and see how you like things. Don't be so stuck on one particular style, because one, it may not look good on you, or two, you may not be able to find something like that you want in your budget. I got my dress at a boutique. People always ask me where I got my dress from. I got it from a boutique in Dallas. I'm not gonna tell you exactly where I got it from, because you're not gonna go there and find it. If it looks really, really great on you, go with it. There's nothing wrong with compromising, even though you want to get what you want, but sometimes what you want is not gonna be feasible to you. So you kind of want to just go with the flow. The dress that I really, really wanted, I couldn't find, so I had to improvise. I got a dress that looked kind of similar with the lace. I wanted a dress with sleeves. I couldn't find one, so I had some sleeves made. The sleeves were a little expensive, so I was glad that my dress wasn't as expensive. So sometimes you do have to make things happen for yourself. You know, try to be cautious of how much you look at, because if you look at too much on TV, if you look at too much on the internet, you're going to get really discouraged when you go to the store and find out how those prices are looking, okay? So just don't get too bogged down on what you see everybody else doing. Try to stay on the straight and narrow path of your budget. Don't get too caught up in these TV shows and stuff, because they'll have you crying wondering why they spend all this money and why you can't spend it. So don't get too caught up in all of that. Trust me, you will get discontent very quickly. Set deadlines and make lots of lists and checkpoints that you can check off as you go. That way you keep yourself organized. I kept up with all of my payments and all of my deadlines and all of that stuff on theknot.com. It's a really great website that can help you to keep everything organized so that you don't overspend, and so that you can keep up with all of your dates that you need to have marked off. It'll give you a great timeline in perspective of how much time you have, so you can keep everything in order, and you can just check stuff off when you're done with it, or check it off when you don't need it. So if you want to plan a wedding on a budget, the best thing to do would be to go to a hotel or somewhere that does an all-inclusive deal, because that way you can get package deals that'll save you a lot of money as far as the reception and food and getting room rates for people who are going to be coming in from out of town and all that stuff. You want to make sure that you have all of those things together. And if you're doing it by yourself, it's easier to have a hotel to help you out, because they will give you somebody to help you. The venue I chose, I did not choose it because it was the best deal, but I chose it because it was going to work out for what I wanted to do. Because I had so many people coming in town, I wanted it to be an all-inclusive thing. And even though it was expensive, the luxuriousness of the place and how it looked was so immaculate to me that I didn't have to do much decorating. I didn't have to really do anything to make it look amazing. It already looked amazing, so I saved so much money on that. And I was able to get really great room rates. We saved a lot of money on vendors because we used their in-house catering, and so we didn't really have to pay that much, as many fees and things like that. So everything was taken care of, and they did everything for me. They did all the decorations, they set everything up, they took everything down. I didn't have to worry about anything. And if you were to go to a place and set up yourself, you would have to get somebody to do that, and that's just frustrating. So receptions are the most expensive part. Sometimes your reception dinners can run you from anywhere from $75 to $100 a plate. A plate. That's one person sitting down eating dinner, $100. So multiply that times maybe 200 people that you want to have. Yeah, that's going to run you about $20,000 for the reception, not including alcohol. So which is why we did not have drinking at the wedding. Well, we don't drink anyways, but alcohol is expensive. So just remember that as well. My reception actually was an hors d'oeuvres style. So instead of having like a sit-down plate with like 3 courses, you had a whole bunch of different sections that you could go to and choose your food for yourself. So that ended up being a whole lot cheaper per person. Make sure you look at the difference between dinners, sit-down dinners and buffets. Buffets are a lot cheaper than sit-down dinners because you don't have to pay for pay the gratuity for the wait staff and all of that, and it's generally a lot cheaper because people can just pick and choose what they want and you're not wasting a whole bunch of food. And remember, you need to have a definite head count for that as well, so be sure to do that, otherwise you will be charged extra after the wedding and you don't want to pay anything else after you're done. You can have a fancy dinner reception at a nice restaurant if you want to save money. I know for a wedding that I went to before, they had their reception at a restaurant, and sometimes that's a lot cheaper. The overhead price is a lot cheaper to do it that way instead of having it at, you know, like a hotel or somewhere that has really expensive food. Time and money will decide that for you. Just do your research and ask a whole bunch of questions. Whole bunch. Make sure to ask a lot of questions when you're choosing vendors for the wedding. When you're choosing like a photographer, videographer, somebody to do your cake, make sure you ask a jillion questions and get exactly what you want up front. Like, ask them everything that you're going to charge you for and make sure you can afford it. Because otherwise you can be ended up paying so much money that you didn't think you would have to pay. Find vendors that will work for you around what you want. Okay, don't just assume that everybody is the same price and go with the most expensive. For parties for the wedding, bridal showers and all that stuff like that, have other people plan them. Set up your registry, get all your information, and give it to somebody else, because that stuff can get really frustrating too. You don't want to be any more frustrated than you have to be. Usually your bridal party will have that done for you. My bridal party was all out of town. Most of them were out of town in college because they're really young. So I didn't have that ability to have them to help me, but I had my mom help me a lot. So just find somebody who you can trust with your parties and all that stuff, and they can set that up for you and you don't have to worry about it. You can save money on a rehearsal dinner. What I did was, instead of having a sit down dinner for the rehearsal dinner, which would have been as much money as having a reception, which is crazy, I actually had a party. We went to an arcade and we played games all night, which was super duper fun. So you can do whatever you want, guys. Just make up your own things that you want to do and have fun with it. Don't feel so obligated to do everything so by the book, you know? DIY. That is the #1 thing that you can do to save money. I pretty much DIY'd a lot of my wedding. I did my own invitations on Photoshop, and I just had them printed through weddingpaperdivas.com, and I put them together and I mailed them all by myself. I made my own wedding website on Wix, which is free. I put together all of my bridesmaids bouquets, and I made my own personal bouquet. I actually couldn't have any florist do it for me because my wedding was on Valentine's Day. So I had to order some flowers wholesale, which is way cheaper than ordering flowers from a florist. I ordered some flowers wholesale. They came straight to my house. I bundled it up, put some ribbon on them, and boom, that was my bouquet. Super simple, super easy, and I did it all by myself for the free. The flowers were about $100 altogether. So that's really good. You can go to Hobby Lobby and Michael's and make your own centerpieces. I made my own centerpieces. Just had somebody set them up the day of. Didn't even have to worry about it. I also DIY'd my own wedding album. If you have a Mac computer, you can just put all your pictures into iPhoto and build your own wedding album. And they actually come out looking so beautiful. Those are really helpful too. They're only about $100. So you can get that instead of getting a huge wedding album for $400 or $500 from your photographer that you use. And I edited my own wedding video, which saved me about $2,000 because I'm so good at editing. You guys know that. You know, I wanted to save money on that, so I did that myself. So you can DIY a lot to get what you want. It'll make you feel so much better about your wedding in the end because you did so much by yourself. So you know, you'll be really proud. I found most of my jewelry and stuff from Etsy, which was a great way to find really inexpensive yet unique and creative accessories. So I got like my headband, I got all of that from Etsy. I ordered a cute bird cage for all of my cards from Etsy as part of my something old, something new, something broad, something blue. I had my aunts all give me those things, so that didn't have to cost me anything. So you can find a lot of cute things online that you really would spend a lot of money on if you went to like a boutique or something, which is cool. For makeup and hair, do what you're comfortable and happy with. I decided on a makeup artist that I knew and I could trust to do my makeup how I wanted to do myself. If you want to know who did my makeup for my wedding, her name was Token Brown Girl on Instagram, but her name is Jasmine. I'll link all their information for my hair and my makeup in the description box. You can check them out. They're located in Dallas. I definitely didn't want to go to MAC and have somebody I've never seen do makeup before. I've never seen them actually, never seen their work. I didn't want anybody who I never talked to about makeup or anything like that before. I wanted somebody who I knew and I could trust. And I found my hairstylist through my cousin Flower Push. She has a glam squad with a hairstylist named Roc Castillo. She has a YouTube channel, so check her out down below in the description box. I'll put all her information in there. For bridal parties, if you want to save money and time, buy their dresses off the rack. It might be more beneficial to you for you to have your dresses ordered online. Ordering online can sometimes be a little scary though, so you do want to check and make sure that you know all of your bridal party sizes so that you guys aren't like freaking out when you get the dress in the mail. What I did was I had everybody go to David's Bridal and try on a dress that I thought would be flattering on all of them, and we just ordered those dresses online. We went through a lot of crap with David's Bridal. They made me kind of mad, but I digress. I got them altered themselves wherever they wanted to get them altered, and in the end it saved a lot of money, and it was the most efficient way to do it for people who weren't all living in the same area. More simple and elegant it is, the easier it is to pull the looks for them together. And I had them do their own makeup because it was a really simple look. It actually was the look that I'm wearing right now, which is weird. That's really weird. But it was the look that I'm wearing right now. I had them all wear the same lip color. My hairstylist was able to fix their hair for them and kind of help them with it. And it worked out a lot easier and cheaper than I thought it would. The expectation that people are going to be as excited and as enthusiastic and putting in 100% work that you will for this wedding. Those expectations are unrealistic. I'm not going to say that like I'm bitter or I'm angry because nobody helped me with my wedding or anything like that. I chose to do my wedding all by myself, and I chose to get everything done by myself. And I specifically did not ask for people to help me because I wanted to make sure that everything went smoothly. And I didn't want to include people because I knew that they have school and work and jobs and families that are going to distract them from what I need them to do. So I ended up doing it all by myself because I knew that I could rely on me to get everything done in a timely and orderly fashion. People will respect you and work to your advantage. Like I said, if you are doing everything on time, like if you have a hotel or something that you're working with, or the vendors that you're working with, if you are cordial with them and you make sure you have all of your I's dotted and your T's crossed with everybody that you're working with, they will bless you and they will be so happy that you did everything right that they will put that much more effort into whatever they're doing for you for your wedding day. So just remember that they go through a lot of hell with a lot of bridezillas. So don't be that bridezilla, okay? I know it's stressful, but you'll get through it. My photographer gave me a lot of freebies, and the hotel that I was having the wedding at, they gave me a celebrity suite instead of a regular suite, all because we did things on time and we were nice to them. We didn't cuss them out. We didn't stress them out. Day of, we were chill and we were cool. Everything was great and it went smoothly because I didn't have a bunch of people all in my ear telling me what to do, and I also didn't have everybody's hands and everything. So they only had one person to contact. They only had to worry about one person, and I made sure that everything was done on time. And as far as people stressing you out, don't let family members pressure you, or let anyone outside of yourself pressure you into doing something that you don't want to do or can't afford. There are going to be some people that can't come to your wedding. Get over it. They need to get over it. Don't feel pressured at all, ever, by anybody else. This is your day. It's your money. So just breathe, relax. It's gonna go great. I think that's all. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Do not hesitate to ask. I will try to put as many of the links that I mentioned, or places that I mentioned, I'll try to put as many links as I can in the description box for you guys, so you guys kind of have an overview. If you have any questions about wedding etiquette or wedding attire, wedding rules, anything that you want to know, theknot.com is a great resource. I had a jillion questions because I didn't know anything about weddings when I started planning it. So especially for wedding etiquette, it's like when to send out invitations and RSVPs and all that stuff. I can't give you specifics on exactly what I used for my wedding, but the things that I did use that I feel like will be helpful to you, I'll put those in the description box. Like I said, if you have any questions about what I'm wearing or anything like that, that'll be in the description box. And yeah, if you haven't seen my wedding video, you should watch it. I'll put that link in the description box, and I'll put a link on the screen so you guys can see that. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you have subscribed, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And if you like where I'm filming, let me know. I'll start doing more videos like this. I feel so comfortable in this beanbag chair. So, yeah. I gotta go on a date tonight, so bye y'all.